All right, some of you may have heard me mention Jolene, the new puppy in my life. And let me tell you, Jolene takes a lot of work. She takes a lot of time out of my day. Sometimes I just don't have enough time to practice banjo as I would like. And I get it, right? Like we all have responsibilities, kids, jobs, all that good stuff. So where do you find the time to practice? And how do you make the little bit of practice time you have count? It's actually a really common question I get. So I want to talk about some ideas I have for like when you have short practice sessions, how do you continue to get better when you maybe only have, 5, 10, 15 minutes a day? Here's what I would work on if I was able to dedicate just a few minutes a day to the banjo in order to still make progress and still get better. Ready? Let's get into it. All right, I've replaced Jolene with a banjo here. We're talking about what do you do when you just have like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes a day to practice. The first thing I want to talk about is that it is better to do a few minutes each day than one larger block less frequently. So it's better to do, say, 10 minutes a day than a 70-minute block once a week. That's because your brain continues to work on things when you're not practicing. So if I'm spending a few minutes, say, drilling drop thumb, for example, your brain is still going to kind of rehearse that even when you've stopped playing. So the next day you come back, you're going to be a little better and you get to reinforce that more and so on. So you kind of make this incremental progress. Whereas if you're playing once a week, it's just going to be a bit harder to progress, essentially. And now here's how I would actually spend, say, a 10-minute practice period. First of all, I would choose one technique, one thing that maybe is giving me trouble. Let's say, just for example, it's a drop thumb. So I'm going to spend the first minute just with a drop thumb exercise with a metronome. So something like just, just one solid minute of that. And the reason is that really kind of sets up my intention, gets me ready to, even if I'm not explicitly doing drop thumb exercises the rest of practice, my brain is now sort of tuned to thinking about drop thumb and it's going to continue through the rest of my practice. So one solid drilling minute is really going to go a long way to making your practice effective. And then in 10 minutes, I'm not really going to think about arranging new songs or anything like that. I'm thinking about songs I already know or I've played a decent amount and I just want to reinforce them. I'm really kind of thinking more about building my technical skills in 10 minutes than I am my musical skills. I feel like musical skills will benefit more from a larger block of time. But you can make amazing technical progress so that when you go into arranging and more musical things, you can make the technicals a little more automatic. But the cool thing is when you spend these 10 minutes every day sort of getting better technically, when you do get the larger blocks of time to arrange songs or work on musicality, the technical skills are going to be a little more automatic. And that is super helpful. You don't have to struggle with them while you're sort of trying to get the music out of your head through the banjo. So what I would do next is take a song that I've played, at least a few times before. I'm somewhat familiar with it. Grab the tab or whatever else and just spend 3 to 5 minutes just playing through the song. Just going through the full song, seeing how it feels. So I spend 3 to 5 minutes just kind of playing through the song a few times, reacquainting myself with it and starting to see where my trouble spots are, especially related to the skill I drilled. So in Hills of Mexico, the song I was just playing, we've got some drop thumb in that first line. So great spot to just kind of sit and play through that line several times, right? So really we're up to like 6 minutes here. I've got about 4 minutes left before Jolene needs to go outside again or whatever it is. So really what I'm going to do is just play through that line several times. I'm going to slow it down and I'm really going to just concentrate on the technique. So I'm going to kind of spend the rest of practice doing that. Now, bonus tip, right? I'm going to take Jolene outside, take her for a walk, whatever. I'm not done here though, right? Like I love playing the banjo. I want to improve. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be listening to Hills of Mexico when I'm outside. I'm going to be finding other versions of this song. I'm going to be thinking about how I want my version to sound. And really kind of, at least in my head, getting some of those musicality skills going, right? I'm really kind of thinking about how I might arrange this song, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, listening to other artists' versions of it, and really kind of forming a solid opinion of the song, because I think that's really important, right? You really want to know what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what sounds good to you, what doesn't sound good to you, what do you like, what don't you like. All that stuff is so important. And because look, no one else is going to have the same version of the song that you have in your head. So we really want that to be able to come out. And part of that is knowing the song. So there's actually quite a bit of work you can do without actually holding a banjo in your hand. And that is where some of those musicality skills come in. So that is really where I would go next. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, progress is progress, even when it comes in tiny little chunks. You know, we're all busy. I get that. But we do this because we love it, right? If you are trying to be the most technically proficient banjo player in the world, yeah, 10 minutes a day is not going to cut it. But if you want to play Cripple Creek, sit there and have some fun, 10 minutes a day will get you there. Maybe it takes you a little longer than someone that has an hour a day, but you know, 2024 has the time, right? We do what we can, right? So don't put pressure on yourself. Do what feels right for you. Do it how it fits into your life. Just don't forget to try to make a little bit of time for it, right? Because music is a lot of fun. I want you all to feel good about playing music. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? Just being able to have some fun with your instrument. So I'm going to let you go. I'll see you next week and we'll get into some more banjo skills.